This is what you might expect from a bookshelf tour. But this is my reality. When it goes too far, it results with this. Meet my book stack, and welcome to my YouTube. My name is Mireille, and for the past few weeks I've been getting a lot of requests to show you guys my bookshelf or do a book tour. And the actual answer I have to that is I don't really have one at this current moment. As some of you may know already, my sister and I share a TikTok account called A Life of Literature, where we share our love for storytelling. In fact, we've actually just launched our website yesterday, I think, which is really exciting, and I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out. And being a bookish content creator means we are inundated with books weekly. Don't get me wrong, I had a really lovely bookshelf, I still have it. However, this is how it's ended up. It's not very aesthetic, but it is honest. Okay, I guess I just start showing. Hear me out. There is a method to this madness. But instead of justifying why I have a book stack, I thought I'd just identify a few things and start off with my most recent read, which was Lessons in Chemistry. This was receiving a lot of interest all over social media. I saw the front cover and I thought the graphic design of this was just so impressive. It's so eye-catching. I have to say, like, a few chapters in, I was absolutely hooked. And I cried. I'm the girl who doesn't cry at books, and I cried. It's set in the 60s and it's all about the traditional gender roles of the time, where sexism was extremely prevalent. Women were overlooked, underpaid, mistreated, and there was a lot of injustice in the workplace. And this follows Elizabeth Stott. She's a chemist, but she can't seem to work her way up in this institution. But in the case where she is forced to resign, Elizabeth signs up to a cooking show. You just have to read it. She becomes a cooking show host, and it is the best thing. Chemistry and cooking, who knew? This is coming to Apple TV. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's worth noting that most of my favorite books, or any book collections I have, will be on my bookshelf, but all these books are standalones. All the genres you could possibly imagine, it's just a melting pot of everything, and I love that. But I thought I'd show you 3 of my favorites. Just give me a minute to find them, please. I did make a mistake. I do have a book series mixed up in my book stack, probably because I wanted to read it again, Anna and the French Kiss. This book, it's just Parisian romance at its finest, and we love it. Basically, our protagonist Anna has her whole life mapped out. She lives in America. She's got a boyfriend. She's got everything in the palm of her hand. But for some reason, her dad sends her to Paris. And if that was the case for me, I'd be very happy. I'd just take the deal and go. But obviously, her life is ruined. It's a disaster. She meets a boy. She meets a boy. I know you want to know more, but I'm not going to give it to you. Just trust me. Next up is a classic, Perfume by Süskind. This book is so uncanny and beautiful in equal measure. The protagonist is insanely gifted and can detect scents beyond anything I could even describe, and then realizes he can start making people into scents. As it says on the blurb, it's a fantastic tale of murder and twisted eroticism, controlled by a disgusting loathing of humanity. And the way Süskind writes so tangibly about scent is just mind-blowing. Now, this was one I read when I was road tripping across America, and I'll tell you about more of that later. I have this thing for books that push boundaries, and Nightbitch is certainly one of them. This is so feral. This is the unspoken side of femininity, and I think it's brilliant. I'm not gonna tell you anything about the plot. I'm just gonna say that it's incredibly thrilling, and I just wanna know what it's like. If you see this little patch right there, those are my school books. So we have Why Be Happy When You Could Be Normal, William Blake, Poems of Innocence and Experience, The Duchess of Malfi, A Streetcar Named Desire, and The Handmaid's Tale. Guys, I met Margaret Atwood and she signed my copy. I will never stop talking about this. I was with TikTok at the Hay Festival. She was just standing there in the green room, and I was like, I cannot not do this. I called my dad from the corner of the green room, like, I swear to God, you've got 5 minutes, you've got to grab my copy of The Handmaid's Tale, and I've got to get Margaret Atwood to sign it. He delivered. A literary legend signed my book. Alongside some normal books and my school books, I have a few non-fiction things. For example, I go to a lot of charity shops, and for some reason I just love the travel section. So I found this Southwest USA Lonely Planet first edition, I think. It was like £1, so it was very cheap. But as I was talking about earlier, my dad and I went on a Southwest USA road trip, and I am working on a video for it at the moment, so do stay tuned. And this book was one of the factors that contributed to the planning of it, even though it's a little bit outdated. I also have this 101 movies you must see before you die book. I was on a roll with it and then I kind of got a bit sidetracked. I have to say, that book is the biggest hazard. If that falls on me in the night, you'll find me in A&E. But keeping on topic, I am a massive film nerd. So often with our TikTok, Elodie and I are invited to a lot of film premieres for new releases that are based off books, whether it's literature, lyricism, script writing. All of these different formats of writing are storytelling, and that's the core of what I love to do. That actually reminds me, if you see here, these are my writing books. So this is my most recent diary. I've been writing a diary entry every single day since I was 4. So that's 13 years of writing a diary. I have a huge crate of them. I'm a big writer myself, and I've always written poetry, but really recently I got into songwriting. This is my little songbook. I carry this around with me most days just to write ideas, thoughts, whatever comes into my head. If I don't have it, I just write it on the notes app of my phone. It's a new exploration of mine. It's really, really exciting. Guess that's another thing you guys have to stay tuned for. Yeah, these are just some other notebooks. Here I have this kind of like idea notepad thing. So in the night, if I have an idea, I spring up like a zombie to scribble it on this. Sometimes I do it in the dark and then I wake up and I'm like, what the hell did I just write? So yeah, contrary to popular beliefs, not all literary content creators are organized. We like to call this organized chaos. There are quite literally books all over my house, but that's how I like it. And soon I'm going to be moving rooms, so I think there's going to be a bit of change. Hopefully I can install a bookshelf, but if not, you'll see this fine book stack reappearing somewhere in the room. But if you guys are interested, I could definitely document the process. Thank you so much for watching and meeting my fine book stack. I have many exciting projects coming up and I cannot wait to share with you guys. So until next time.